In the settlement of Gilgal, the air is thick with the heat of the Jordan Valley and the weight of a closing era. The prophet Elijah's time on earth is ending, and the transition of his authority has begun. Elijah tells his student, Elisha, to stay behind. He offers him the chance to remain in the safety of the camp, effectively testing whether Elisha will settle for a comfortable life or endure the grit of the journey ahead. Elisha refuses to stop. Through 3 different cities, he tracks every step his master takes across the landscape, choosing the exhaustion of the road over the ease of the settlement. Faith in this moment is a physical act of persistence. It suggests that witnessing the work of God isn't something that happens to those waiting at home, but to those who refuse to leave the side of their master. This same persistence appears centuries later with the Apostle John. While others retreated during the chaos of the crucifixion, John followed to the foot of the cross, positioning himself to see what the others would only hear about later. That commitment to stay present, even when the path is difficult, is the discipline that transforms a student into a witness and prepares a heart for the blessing that follows. They reach the Jordan, the final barrier. Standing on the muddy bank where the road ends, every step Elisha took has led to this shoreline. As the end nears, Elisha makes his request. He asks for a double portion of Elisha's spirit. He isn't asking for more fame, but for the full inheritance of the power he has witnessed. A whirlwind descends, with a chariot and horses of fire, separating the 2 men and carrying Elijah upward out of sight. Elijah is gone, but he leaves a single physical trace behind: his mantle, the heavy cloak of a prophet, lying on the ground for Elisha to reclaim. Elisha's request was bold, but it was answered. It reveals a pattern in how God interacts with those who seek him, answering the audacity of a student with the reality of his power. Jesus points back to this same dynamic in the book of Luke. He speaks of a father who doesn't shy away from the persistent requests of his children. He argues that if even human parents give their children what they need, then God will certainly provide the Holy Spirit to anyone who has the courage to ask. Spiritual empowerment starts with that single, specific moment of vocalized need, the willingness to ask God to be filled with his own spirit. Elisha turns back towards the cities they passed, but the journey is different now. He is traveling alone, carrying the weight of the cloak he now wears. When he reaches the Jordan, he strikes the water and it parts. It is the evidence that the authority he asked for has arrived. The river reacts to him just as it did to his master. On the road to Bethel, that authority is immediately tested. A crowd as youths begins to follow him, their tone aggressive and their words meant to humiliate the new prophet. The response is sudden and final. Divine judgment falls on the crowd, and 24 of the mockers are killed. This echoes the warning given to Moses' own siblings, Aaron and Miriam. When they challenged the authority God had placed on Moses, they were met with immediate, visible consequences. These accounts serve as a reminder that spiritual authority is not a social contract. To mock a person set apart by God is to treat the Spirit of God himself with contempt. The power of God is the same force that parted the river for a seeker and brought judgment on the scoffers. It is a presence that brings life to those who pursue it and carries a heavy weight for those who would treat it as a joke.